For generations, the Inuit have mastered their skills in finding drinking water in the cold Arctic. With temperatures dropping to as low as minus 71 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 95 degrees Celsius, every drop of liquid is crucial for survival. Unlike warmer areas with rivers and rainfall, the Arctic requires creative and extensive knowledge to find safe water sources. While the Arctic is blanketed in snow and ice, not all are suitable for drinking. Some ice may contain salt, pollutants, or air pockets, rendering it unsafe or inefficient to melt. Consuming snow directly can even lead to dehydration as the body expends energy to warm it up. To tackle these challenges, the Inuit have created clever methods for collecting and preparing water. They carefully select the right ice, uncover hidden warm springs, and apply techniques passed down through generations to endure. Locating water in the Arctic is not merely a necessity, it is a skill that showcases their profound connection to the land. Inuit live on literal water or frozen water, they have snow, and they can just simply eat those to hydrate themselves. Many people think like that and assume they can simply scoop up some snow and eat it when thirsty, but that can be quite dangerous. Even though snow appears clean and pristine, it can contain germs, bacteria, and pollutants carried by the wind from distant places. Arctic winds travel vast distances, gathering dust, soot, and even microscopic particles from the atmosphere. These tiny contaminants settle in the snow, giving it a seemingly pure appearance while hiding invisible dangers, like a soft, fluffy blanket that isn't as clean as it looks. However, the greatest risk isn't just the dirt, it's the effect on your body when you consume snow. Picture chewing on ice cubes when you're already cold. It may feel refreshing at first, but your body must use extra energy to melt the snow inside you. This decreases your temperature, making you even colder and increasing the risk of hypothermia. Instead of providing relief, eating snow robs your body of the warmth it desperately needs to survive. The Inuit, who have inhabited the Arctic for generations, have honed the skill of identifying the safest snow for drinking water. This process resembles how a chef selects the freshest ingredients for a perfect dish. The ideal choice is fresh, fluffy snow, as it contains fewer contaminants compared to old, compacted snow. Snow that has lingered too long tends to absorb dust and pollution, much like a sponge soaking up its surroundings. Hard-packed snow can also be deceptive. Even if it appears clean, the deeper layers often consist of compressed ice mixed with dirt, making it more difficult to melt and less safe for consumption. Snow that has been exposed to sunlight for an extended period can partially melt and refreeze, resulting in tough ice crystals that are harder to melt and require more heat to convert into water. Due to these hazards, the Inuit never depend on just any snow for drinking. They meticulously select the cleanest, safest snow and ensure it is properly melted before consumption. This straightforward yet vital knowledge has been passed down through generations, aiding their survival in one of the coldest and most unforgiving environments on Earth. Understanding how to locate and prepare drinking water is as crucial as knowing how to stay warm, because in the Arctic, both can be the difference between life and death. Rather than consuming snow directly, which is similar to swallowing tiny ice thieves that rob your body of heat, the Inuit use more effective techniques. They place small amounts of snow in a container and allow their body warmth to gradually melt before drinking. By keeping the container close to their skin, they ensure a steady flow of water without subjecting their system to the shock of extreme cold. Hunters and travelers often carry small chunks of ice wrapped in cloth or fur, pressing them against warmer areas of their bodies to help them melt slowly. It's comparable to transforming themselves into a natural melting pot. Wrapping the ice also helps avoid discomfort, similar to wearing mittens in cold weather. When preparing for long trips, Inuit hunters typically pack small blocks of ice or snow in their gear, allowing them to gradually absorb heat over time, like carrying a frozen treat that slowly becomes drinking water. This method helps them stay hydrated without resorting to risky or inefficient techniques. While melting snow this way isn't the most efficient, it showcases the intelligence and resourcefulness of the Inuit. Even in the harshest environments, they find ways to cooperate with nature rather than struggle against it, ensuring their survival in one of the coldest regions on Earth. Whenever possible, the Inuit prefer using ice over snow for drinking water. Although ice is more challenging to gather, it's much cleaner and melts more effectively. Snow may seem like an easier choice, but it's filled with air like a fluffy pillow that appears large but compresses when pressed. This means melting snow requires more time, heat, and fuel, making it less practical. Additionally, snow acts like a sponge, soaking up dirt, soot, and pollution from the air, which can render it unsafe to drink. The Inuit know how to select the best ice for drinking. Not all ice is created equal, and the Inuit have learned the skill of choosing the best ice for drinking water. By carefully observing the color and texture, they can distinguish between pure glacier ice and salt-contaminated sea ice, similar to how a skilled jeweler inspects a gemstone for clarity. This knowledge passed down through generations enables them to collect only the safest ice for drinking. The ideal option is clear ice, which forms in layers over time. It's like nature's purified water, solid, clean, and easy to melt. In contrast to cloudy ice, which contains tiny trapped air bubbles that hinder melting, clear ice is denser and yields more water with less effort. Another great choice is blue ice, which is often found in glaciers or older ice formations. This type of ice is dense, salt-free, and has fewer impurities, like a bottle of spring water that has been frozen in time. In contrast, white or grayish ice, particularly from sea ice, resembles salty soup. It contains high levels of salt and minerals, making it less suitable for drinking. Consuming salty ice water can lead to dehydration instead of hydration, which is why the Inuit steer clear of it. They even use sound to assess the quality of the ice. When tapped, pure ice emits a sharp ringing sound, similar to the sound of tapping a crystal glass, while cloudy or impure ice produces a dull, muffled noise. It's like knocking on a hollow log. This simple yet effective method allows them to identify the best ice even in low visibility or when it's covered by snow. Gathering ice isn't just about picking the right kind, it requires skill and effort to harvest. Large blocks are often cut or chiseled from frozen lakes, rivers, or glaciers. Some Inuit utilize traditional tools like adzes and knives, or even modern saws to extract the ice efficiently. It's akin to digging for treasure in a frozen landscape. Challenging work, but immensely rewarding. The blocks are then transported on sleds, carried in containers, or stored in insulated areas for later use. To facilitate melting, smaller pieces of ice may be broken off and placed in containers near body warmth or by a fire. The Inuit have also developed effective methods for storing collected ice, keeping it safe from contamination and unnecessary melting. By carefully selecting, gathering, and preserving ice, they ensure a reliable source of drinking water, even in the harshest Arctic conditions. For Inuit communities near the coast, icebergs are a vital source of fresh water. These enormous floating ice chunks, resembling frozen mountains drifting in the sea, break away from glaciers and carry centuries-old, naturally filtered fresh water. Unlike sea ice, which contains salt and isn't drinkable, iceberg ice is formed from layers of snow that have been compacted over time, resulting in a solid and purified block of ice. Getting ice from icebergs requires skill and caution. The Inuit use simple yet effective hand tools, chisels, saws, or axes to carefully break off chunks of ice, much like chipping away at a frozen treasure chest. After gathering the ice, they transport it back to their homes using sleds or small boats, depending on their location. Some communities even store extra ice in well-insulated spaces to ensure they have fresh water long after the initial collection, similar to stocking up on supplies for winter. Sometimes, instead of breaking off large pieces, they collect smaller floating chunks of ice that have already detached from icebergs. These pieces, known as bergy bits, are like nature's ice cubes, easier to grab and move while still providing clean drinking water. However, collecting them can be challenging. The Arctic waters can be unpredictable and shifting ice formations can create hidden dangers, making the process feel like navigating a moving obstacle course. For coastal Inuit communities, iceberg ice is a lifesaver, especially when other freshwater sources are hard to access. Their ability to find and collect this frozen resource demonstrates how well they have adapted to the harsh Arctic environment, where every drop of fresh water is as precious as gold in a land of ice and snow. This profound understanding of ice and water collection highlights the Inuits' remarkable ability to adapt and thrive in one of the coldest places on Earth. Their survival techniques, passed down through generations, demonstrate that collaborating with nature rather than opposing it is essential for living successfully in extreme environments. Even in the freezing Arctic, some underground water remains liquid throughout the year. The Inuit have mastered the art of finding warm springs and pressure points where water doesn't freeze, enabling them to access fresh water even in the harshest conditions. These locations are memorized and passed down through generations, creating a mental map of secret Arctic water sources. Some communities have depended on these natural springs for over 1,000 years, longer than many ancient structures around the globe. Locating these hidden water sources isn't straightforward, but the Inuit have developed effective techniques. They observe the landscape for signs such as unusual ice formations, thin layers of frost, or small wisps of steam rising from cracks in the ground, like tiny clues leading to a vital resource. These indicators suggest warmth beneath the surface, pointing to where fresh water might be flowing. Their skill in interpreting the land and recognizing these subtle signs has been crucial for survival in such an extreme climate. Once they identify a water source, they carefully chip away at the ice to create an opening. Since breaking the ice too forcefully can cause it to crack or collapse, they use traditional tools made from bone, stone, or metal. Over generations, these tools have been refined for precision, much like an artist sculpting a masterpiece. By working slowly and methodically, they ensure they can access the water safely without damaging the surrounding ice. In addition to warm springs, the Inuit also utilize ice leads, natural cracks in the sea ice where liquid water briefly appears before freezing again. These openings are like nature's hidden doorways, sometimes lasting only a short time before the cold seals them shut. Spotting and using these leads require quick thinking and experience, but they offer an immediate water source without the need for melting ice or snow. Some Inuit hunters have even been known to carry small containers, ready to scoop up water from an ice lead the moment they discover one. One effective strategy is observing animal behavior. Certain Arctic creatures like polar bears, seals, and various birds instinctively know how to find unfrozen water. The Inuit, much like skilled trackers, watch these animals to discover hidden water sources. For instance, if they notice seals frequently surfacing in a specific area, it suggests there's likely an opening in the ice. Similarly, birds congregating in one location can indicate the presence of water. This profound understanding of wildlife enables the Inuit to locate resources that would otherwise be nearly impossible to find. The Inuit also adjust their water searching techniques according to seasonal changes. As temperatures fluctuate, some ice areas become thinner due to strong currents or underground heat. These weakened spots can provide easier access to liquid water. It's akin to finding a crack in a frozen wall, small yet incredibly valuable. By monitoring these seasonal variations, the Inuit can plan and secure water before it runs low. These survival strategies highlight the Inuits' knowledge of their environment and their ability to thrive in one of the most extreme climates on Earth. Their deep connection to nature passed down through generations empowers them to find water where most would only see ice and snow. By employing observation, skill, and age-old traditions, they transform the Arctic's challenges into opportunities, demonstrating that true survival is about collaborating with nature rather than opposing it. Once the Inuit gather snow or ice, they encounter another significant challenge: transforming it into drinkable water in an environment where even your breath can freeze in the air. The extreme cold and strong winds make it difficult to maintain a fire, but over generations, the Inuit have developed clever methods to make the frozen landscape work to their advantage. One of their most essential tools was the quollic, a traditional oil lamp crafted from seal or whale fat. These lamps served not only as a source of light, but also as small, consistent campfires that provided warmth to their shelters and melted ice. The fat burned slowly, producing a steady flame that lasted for an extended period. The Inuit mastered the art of positioning these lamps to distribute heat evenly and minimize fuel waste, much like a skilled cook adjusts a stovetop flame for optimal results. When they required additional heat, particularly in frigid conditions, they employed specific fire-making techniques. By striking rocks together, they created sparks to ignite dry moss, grass, or bark, precious resources in a land where firewood was scarce. Although these fires were challenging to ignite, they were essential for generating a larger supply of water for their families or groups. Shielding the fire from the wind was another crucial aspect of the process. The Inuits' iconic igloo with its rounded design functioned as a natural insulator, trapping warmth inside. This created an environment where melting snow or ice became significantly easier. Even when the outside temperature plummeted well below freezing, the interior of an igloo could remain close to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, warm enough to accelerate the melting process while conserving fuel. It operated much like a greenhouse, protecting plants from the cold by retaining heat. Melting enough water wasn't a quick task. It could take 2 to 3 hours to gather enough for an entire family. To ensure they always had a supply, the Inuit often set up multiple melting stations. They had a system where one container of ice was melting while another was being filled, keeping the process running smoothly, much like an assembly line that maintains continuous production. This careful planning and efficient use of resources allowed them to survive the extreme cold with just the right balance of effort and energy. Even in one of the harshest environments on Earth, the Inuit demonstrated that smart thinking and adaptability could make life possible. Once melted, water needs to be stored carefully to prevent it from freezing again, which is a challenge in the relentless Arctic cold. The Inuit developed clever methods to ensure they had access to liquid water when needed. One of their most effective solutions was using seal and caribou skins as natural water containers. These skins, prepared through traditional tanning processes, provided insulation that acted like Arctic thermoses, helping to keep water from freezing for extended periods. The natural oils in the animal hides also helped retain heat. Inside their igloos, the Inuit set aside specific storage areas where temperatures stayed just above freezing. These locations acted like natural refrigerators, keeping water from freezing too quickly while also shielding it from contamination. This careful arrangement ensured that water remained drinkable without too much exposure to the cold. When traveling, the Inuit had to be even more inventive. They would carry small water pouches tucked inside their clothing, using their body heat to prevent the liquid from freezing. This approach guaranteed access to drinkable water even on long treks across the ice. It was a straightforward yet effective way to stay hydrated without needing to constantly reheat the water. For extra insulation, wooden or bone containers were sometimes wrapped in furs to add another layer of protection against the cold. These materials were selected not only for their insulating qualities, but also for their strength, making them dependable tools for transporting water over long distances. Every detail, from the choice of containers to their storage locations, was carefully thought out to enhance efficiency and ensure a steady water supply. The Inuit skill in water preservation showcases their profound understanding of the Arctic's challenges and their ability to adapt to its harsh environment. In extreme survival situations when fresh water or ice is unavailable, the Inuit have developed alternative hydration methods that utilize every possible resource. The blood and bodily fluids of hunted animals, such as seals, caribou, and fish, can provide crucial hydration, helping to maintain the body's fluid balance when conventional water sources are lacking. These fluids contain essential nutrients and electrolytes, which not only help prevent dehydration but also replenish lost minerals, making them vital for survival. These fluids are consumed with care, often in small quantities, to prevent overwhelming the body's digestive system. The Inuit have long recognized that drinking large amounts of blood can result in iron toxicity or gastrointestinal issues, so they practice moderation when using this method. Certain Arctic animals like seals have a higher water content in their muscle tissues, and their fresh meat can offer additional hydration when eaten raw. Moreover, freshly caught fish are rich in moisture, and eating raw fish has historically been an essential survival strategy during extended hunting trips. The high water content in fish flesh provides slow and sustained hydration, minimizing the need for external water sources. Fish eyes, in particular, are known to hold a surprising amount of liquid and have served as a last resort water source in desperate situations. Some Inuit hunters extract moisture by chewing on fish flesh or organ tissues, allowing the liquid to be absorbed gradually without the immediate need to melt ice or snow. While these methods may seem unconventional by today's standards, they have been refined over generations, enabling the Inuit to survive in some of the harshest Arctic conditions. Their skill in extracting moisture from their environment reflects a profound understanding of survival in extreme climates, showcasing remarkable resilience and adaptability in the face of nature's challenges. Today, Inuit communities are successfully merging traditional knowledge with modern technology, which helps them uphold their ancestral survival techniques while enjoying contemporary conveniences. While ice harvesting is still a practiced skill, many settlements now depend on community water stations that offer a more reliable and accessible supply of drinking water. However, the maintenance of Arctic water infrastructure comes with unique challenges due to the extreme cold. Water pipes need protection from freezing, which is achieved through heated conduits known as utilidors. These insulated passageways keep water lines from icing over, ensuring a steady flow even during the harshest winter months. For Inuit families living outside established water systems, alternative solutions have been created. A water taxi service using specially outfitted snowmobiles delivers water to remote households, making sure that even those in isolated areas have access to fresh water. This service has become crucial in regions where infrastructure development is limited due to the vast and rugged landscape. Despite these advancements, traditional methods of obtaining drinking water are still highly valued. Many Inuit prefer the taste of naturally melted glacier ice, believing it to be purer and more refreshing than treated water. Instead of relying solely on modern plumbing, some continue to melt ice and snow, using electric kettles, portable stoves, and even traditional blubber lamps when necessary. This blend of old and new approaches showcases the adaptability of Inuit communities, allowing them to preserve their heritage while embracing technological improvements in their daily lives. The evolution of the Inuit water collection reflects a broader narrative of resilience and ingenuity. Over generations, they have honed their ability to utilize their environment, transforming a challenging landscape into a sustainable living space. By seamlessly integrating modern conveniences with traditional knowledge, they continue to thrive. Even with modern infrastructure available, many Inuit communities still rely on traditional methods like harvesting glacier ice and using animal skins for water storage. These practices go beyond mere necessity. They reflect a profound respect for ancestral knowledge and a keen understanding of the Arctic's natural resources. Through generations of trial and error, the Inuit have honed their survival techniques, ensuring that this wisdom is passed down. Today, innovations like heated water conduits and water delivery services have alleviated some of the difficulties of living in the Arctic. Yet, the Inuit continue to depend on traditional practices, especially in remote areas where infrastructure is scarce. Whether it's melting snow over blubber lamps, finding the safest ice sources, or using modern tools to enhance their methods, their adaptability highlights their resourcefulness. The Inuits' strong connection to their land is clear in how they approach water collection. It's not just about survival, it's about maintaining a way of life that has flourished for millennia. Their remarkable ability to adjust to some of the harshest conditions on the planet showcases human resilience, demonstrating that knowledge, innovation, and respect for nature can triumph over even the toughest challenges. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this next one more.